Reuters, 17th of October 2023, fragile feeling following illegal arrest in China, according to Australian journalist Cheng Lei. After being unlawfully held in Beijing for 3 years, Australian journalist Cheng Lei was released last week. In her first interview, she told Sky News Australia that she alternated between feeling like a newborn and very fragile. After being freed from a horrifying Chinese prison, Cheng returned home last Wednesday and met up with her children, who are now 12 and 14 years old, in Melbourne. Foreign Minister Penny Wong received her at the airport in Melbourne, and Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who had brought up her situation with Chinese President Xi Jinping, called to welcome her back to Australia. In the Tuesday interview with the broadcaster, she stated, "There are times when I feel like I could fly, and other times I feel like an invalid, like a newborn and very fragile." Cheng broke down in tears, remembering how her 2 kids had run to her at the airport the previous Wednesday and how her mother had aged and put on weight while raising them for 3 years without her. She remarked, "We just all screamed." When Cheng, 48, was arrested in August 2020 on suspicion of disclosing state secrets to a foreign nation, she was a business television anchor for Chinese state television. In 2022, she was put on trial in a closed Beijing court. The specifics of her punishment were not made public until this past week. As China expanded its export restrictions amid a diplomatic conflict that is progressively decreasing, Australia had expressed concerns about her captivity as a hostage in China on multiple occasions. Cheng claimed she was unable to share anything regarding her case. When asked if Cheng had shared a government briefing material before going live and breaking an embargo by a few minutes, she answered yes to the Sky interviewer. "That is a severe transgression in China since you have harmed the nation and undermined the legitimacy of the government. According to Cheng, things that appear harmless to us here are not in China. I am given to understand the ambit of state security is widening," she stated. The State Security Ministry of China said last week that Cheng had completed her prison term for using her mobile phone to divulge state secrets to a foreign organization, violating a confidentiality agreement with her employer, the state media. Cheng recalled that she was initially arrested in August 2020 after being summoned in by a senior employee, and upon her arrival, she saw that 20 others were there. "Someone stands up, shows his badge and says, 'You are wanted,'" she said. After being led to her flat, it was searched all day long. She was kept apart for the first 6 months of her incarceration and tried to translate poems into her head to distract herself from her destructive thoughts. "Every dream was a nightmare because if it was a good dream, waking up was worse," she stated. Later, she relocated to a prison where inmates shared cells, and no one ever turned down the lights. She claimed this was the first time she had seen darkness in 3 years, having taken the plane back to Australia. When asked how she was adjusting to life in Australia, she remarked, "I keep expecting people to drop out of the sky and arrest me because of this whole ordeal." Thanking the Australian public and government, Cheng added that Wong had felt like a friend who was trying to help me after reassuring her family,